Hello and welcome back to day 6 of the European Masters Group Stage. I'm Dracos, joined by Ender for what is going to be a thrilling day of Group A action. However, before we talk about today, we got to talk a little bit about yesterday. Group B, of course, finishing their round robin. It was an absolutely insane, totally crazy day. Vodafone Giants came in at the top of the table as the favorites, but after Rogue and LDLC forced a three-way tie, they are now fighting for their lives later this week.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy too, because Giants, of course, said the heavy favorites. They came into the day 3-0, winning all of their matches in the first round robin, but LDLC took them down, then Rogue took them down as well, which set us up for this position. Now, at the same time, I would like to quickly shout out the Diffuse kids. Even though they finished 0-6 in the group overall, they put up fights in every single game. Ultimately, it just wasn't enough in what seems to be a pretty stacked group.
Always a shame to go 0-6. We can only hope for more from the region in the future. However, on Sunday, as mentioned, Vodafone Giants will face off against LDLC to determine who will advance into the quarterfinals alongside AGO Rogue. Seeding for the quarterfinals will be determined by another game played between Rogue and the first game's winner. So the first game is to see who will make it. That's an elimination match, and the second match is going to be for seeding between Rogue and whoever wins between LDLC and Vodafone Giants. It's a bit complicated, but you can find out more about that on Sunday.
Games.
That's all you really need to know. More quality League of Legends, more high-stakes quality League of Legends. And who's going to go home empty-handed? Is it Spain? Is it Poland? Is it France? You got to find out yourself when you tune in on Sunday. But for today, it's a very different story of the group, as the UK hovering here at the bottom, BTXL 0-3, while Gamers Origin, after a commanding win over GamerLegion, are 3-0 coming into the day.
I mean, it's just clear that Excel missed the memo, right? Like, if you want to pick up a win, you have to have gamers in your name. Otherwise, you're just not real. You're an imposter. And that's what they looked like in week 1. Not enough to find a win, but who knows? Can they do better than Diffuse Kids did yesterday? Today, we'll find out.
And surprising to see Excel this far down. And of course, because they are 0-3, their first game will be an elimination match. Absolutely have to win against GamerLegion, have to win out on every single game on the day, actually, if they want to have a chance of making it out on the group. But we're kicking off with GamerLegion versus Excel. We're ending the day with Gamers Origin versus GamerLegion, a rematch I'm frankly quite excited for. Just generally think that's going to be the most kind of tense, most intense match. But we've been surprised by YD and Gamers. They've put up a lot more of a fight in a few of the games than I expected them to, outside of the one game where they drafted Kiana Akali into Lysandra. I hope we don't see that again. But otherwise,
you're not a fan of that one?
With what they're doing. No, not a fan at all. But Ender, we're getting into draft for GamerLegion versus BTXL. As mentioned before, elimination match for Excel. Everything on the line here, and already Syndra going to be taken away as we get into picks advance.
Yeah, so Syndra going to be removed here. Now, the fun thing whenever you have Hjarnan in the game is you're like, oh, the mages, will they be pulled out? But let me remind you, folks, that the last time, or the only time these two teams faced off so far in the tournament, it was actually Hjarnan playing a real ADC, or close to a real ADC. It was the Senna, so judge that how you will. And it was deadly on the Ziggs on the other side. It's a champion we've seen banned a whole lot, picked a few times here in E-Masters, and I think is definitely a strong one here. And Deadly almost able to carry in some of those clutch late-game team fights too.
Okay, just to be absolutely clear, Senna is definitely a mage. Like, she's definitely she's cosplaying an AD carry so that all the kids who play AD carry think that they're like special and different. But that champion is just a mage. Just to lay that out there. But the Hyper band kind of as
Is she a mage or is she a support? You know, there's it's like as far away from an AD carry as you can get while still being in the bot lane. You know.
It's the greatest heist that Riot Games has ever pulled, is convincing people that Senna is an AD carry.
Yeah, well, and they tried to convince you that Pyke was a support.
Gonna have to see, because as you alluded to, the bot lane was a question mark last time around. Of course, Hjarnan and Viz doing pretty well overall, and while Deadly had an excellent performance, we really felt like the Pyke pick was not there for kaSing. It did not look good. The Omni Stone did not look good. The team didn't.
Oh, and already going to get that first pick, Thresh here, which I am a huge fan of. Tell me the stats on that one. You said it had some kind of insanely high win rate. What was that again?
Internet is now spontaneously dying.
Ah, hello.
So just
Hi,
pretend,
Dracos.
Hello. Pretend I never said anything. Shout out to all the internet companies around the world. We won't name names. We'll just keep it going. But there's a Thresh first pick. Talk about that, Ender, while I pray that my connection remains stable.
The best part is that I don't know if it's my internet dying or it's your internet dying. I'm just like, Dracos is gone. Should I talk, or would I just be a robot if I did that? No, but I'm a big fan of the Thresh. Like I said before you came back, when you were off in internet limbo. Yeah.
We'll have
I
more
was actually
time to talk about that because that's like my favorite subject ever. Is the kind of sort of like game of chicken of who's going to talk first, assuming that the other person cut out, and when they reconnect, is it going to be like two people talking over each other? But we'll hold the thought. Varus once again coming in for Deadly. I like it. Focus on getting some lane priority there on the bottom side. But if GamerLegion go with this Ashe, they're trying to match fire for fire here. Having a Thresh Ashe lane doesn't guarantee lane prio, but it's pretty strong.
It wouldn't exactly be fire with the Ashe pick, I'd have to say, but it would be a Hjarnan throwback there in the bottom lane. You remember back in 2018 Hjarnan days, there was a bit of the Heimerdinger, but it was a lot of the Varus and the Ashe for him. So definitely comfortable on that type of a champion. And what it means for GamerLegion is they have other long-range engage options to match what they're seeing on the other side, which of course is going to be the Ornn able to call that in from a mile away.
And very interesting to see kind of how the two teams are going to approach this one. I feel like BTXL, it was like safe. I was like, ooh, Varus, Ornn coming together. The Graves really coming out of nowhere. To me, it feels like overall Taxer was really underwhelming last time these two teams played, so maybe they want to set him up to have more of a highlight game. But that said, Trundle has been the pick of the tournament for junglers, and we already got to see what Rabble did to this team last time. Fun fact, stole a Baron. 0-0-10, the man was unkilled and was everywhere across the map, so I'm a little bit nervous again for Excel in terms of just draft overall.
And already I'm seeing like a lot of ability to gank around this bottom lane, because one combo that you don't see all the time, but it's actually Trundle plus Thresh, and I think it's one of the better tower diving combos in the game, because when you stack up a wave, Trundle can just walk in with that wave. He doesn't necessarily have to like loop around for the dive or anything, but he can come straight through lane, drop the pillar, which not only will, force you into a corner and make a Thresh hook super easy, but it also has that slow field around it, so it can set up for easy hooks, easy kills with an Ashe there as well, and it's something that Excel are going to have to be aware of and maybe go a little bit more defensive in terms of support options to keep themselves alive.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult to get away from this team. If you are ever behind in a team fight, you're not getting away from Ashe, Trundle, Thresh. There's just no way at any point. So BTXL definitely have to stay on the front foot. As we see second phase bans here, the Jarvan being banned away here is a little surprising to me, given that we already have a Trundle locked in. I guess just trying to take away any potential flex picks here. Maybe expecting the Trundle to go into the Ornn on the top side of the map, but the Zoe now banned away, the LeBlanc, the Tahm Kench. So pick of the litter for the slow control mage style mid laners, Corki, Azir, both up and available, as well as any of the other respective counters if someone really wants to go for a Kassadin. Bit surprised, honestly, to see neither of the scaling mid lane picks picked up yet.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm looking at Excel, I'd love them to go for a support option right now and hold a potential flex of the Ornn into mid lane. Special hasn't played any sort of tanky option in the mid lane so far in this tournament, but with the Graves in the jungle, I wouldn't mind having a lower eco top laner and then giving yourself some really hard counterpick opportunities for Sendu up in the top side. But this is going to be the Morgana down in the bot lane. This is going to negate so much of the pressure you're talking about Thresh, and again, make so that those tower dives you were mentioning going to be a whole lot harder.
Look, I love it. kaSing on range champions, it was a meme for the longest time, but I just really think he looks more comfortable on these style champions. Was known, as many people were back in the day, for the Thresh, for the Morgana. See what he can do to set up bot lane for success here. I don't think we're going to get a Yuumi pick unless they were.
Really? You don't think it's going to be mid lane Yuumi?
Look, I was ready. All I'm saying is EU Masters is crazy, and I've seen some stuff already that I thought was impossible, but there it is. Finally, the Azir getting locked in. A little bit more pressure on Nite in the mid lane. Curious to see this, though, after Phones was such a big part of carrying through the victory for them last time, that they've decided to put him on more of a defensive role and set him up in the top lane with that Maokai.
In their defense, though, I think Nite had a really solid game there as well, so I'm not sad to see it, even though, of course, that Fiora was very powerful. Right now, GamerLegion, they don't care about the split push at all. It's all about setting up that really strong team fight. They've got two fantastically tanky frontliners and the damage behind them to back it up. So seeing something like the Akali come in for Excel puts their comp kind of all over the place right now. They don't have that clear team fight style. They do have a lot of champions that like to get scrappy, like the Akali and the Graves, so finding some better fights where they're not just walking in front to back in a team fight is probably going to be ideal for them.
And just remember that this is the composition that Excel are betting it all on. It is do or die for this team, for this entire lineup. GamerLegion in a much more comfortable position, just looking to contest Gamers Origin for the top spot. So I agree, Andrew. I'm not entirely sure what to expect here, but clearly BTXL going back to some comfort picks, trying to mix things up after their last loss against GamerLegion. And for GamerLegion, stock, standard, front to back, a lot of pick tools. You got multiple tanky options. Frankly, I love it, but the question is, can BTXL disrupt the plan from the side of GamerLegion?
And they're already sort of changing up some of their own strategies we've seen in the tournament. This is going to be our first time with eyes on Taxer going for a more like carry style of champion, right? You know, he's usually been on these picks that can make an impact in the early game. Graves not necessarily in that line, but he wants more pressure, more attention to carry and pop off in the team fights.
Absolutely the case here as we get into our first game. Now CXL setting up for on the bottom side of the map. See what it does for them overall and what exactly they can do here. I like the cheese, honestly. I don't know what it's going to do for them, but I like that they're trying it, because if there was ever a time to try stuff, it is the elimination match.
Yeah, and good news for them, it's not like GamerLegion are doing anything themselves, so they don't get punished and lose out, you know, with GamerLegion being able to walk in and put down wards or anything along those lines. Won't result in much in the very end, but you can see already Taxer wants to start on the top side of the map, which means we're going to see Deadly and kaSing fighting over wave control very early on. They want to get level 2 first in this lane, make sure you can have the black shield and can't get, you know, punished by any sort of like early all-in coming through from the Thresh, which is sort of that quick window where you can look to do something before the Morgana becomes pretty hard to deal with.
Let's see if kaSing even wants to throw the binding here. Bit of a risk, of course. I'm going to take a bit more damage. Hailblade's Ashe is a terror, but they've managed to poke her down without letting her proc that. So solid early trade. Visdom going to be hurting a little bit, forced to use an early pot. Small advantage to BTXL, but yes, one they're going to be happy.
Right. The interesting thing about this lane is that when you consider, like, usually in the 2v2 in lane, the AD carry fights the AD carry and the support fights the support. You can see both ADCs on, like, the upper left-hand side of the lane, both supports down towards the right. And while Morgana should have the advantage up against the Thresh, Ashe, because she's running Halo Blades, will absolutely pummel in Deadly. So even with that ranged Morgana, she took the Q at level 1, so it's not going to be helping out in any sort of that lane push. And after the early poke, it's still Hjarnan and Visdom with that early push and the option to hit level 2 first.
And we can see, of course, why you would prioritize a pick like the Ashe, because it is so impossible to get lane priority against her, especially when she goes for something. Oh, the flash over hook. I respect it, but probably not going to be enough as the exhaust is used a bit late. Good body block from kaSing. Overall, respect the initiative. The result, however, definitely not ideal.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was saying, though, right? If you hit level 2 first with the Ashe Thresh, you can look for that huge all-in, because Morgana already revealed that she had not skilled up E at level 1, and good ward now using that pressure will spot out Taxer as well. I mean, there's no sort of gank opportunity. If anything, Visdom can stick around because Rabble is also on the way.
Smite not quite there for Taxer. It should be up before anything else goes down, but
it's the Hex Flash!
Ooh, coming over the wall, nearsighted. Now just going to wait. The Flay going to bring him back, but the Smite comes out from Taxer just in time. No mana. The Flash over the wall. Bit of extra movement speed will take him out to safety, but getting the Flash out this early on is going to limit Taxer's effective gank potential. Of course, it's a Graves already, so you're not expecting a ton of early action, but Taxer now trying to fire back, maybe get a flash of his own.
It's a teleport!
Movement coming in from kaSing. Phone's now on the way down. That black shield is going to fall away. The flash forward, the Q, the pillar. That's what you're talking about. A solid setup forcing another flash out, but no one's dying, Ender.
Oh,
it's just flash for flash for flash for flash. Like,
everyone's flashing. I don't know what's going on down here in the bottom lane. Every single time it's a new target the GamerLegion are trying to jump onto. At the end of the day, though, I think this will be a win out for BTXL. Now, flashes, of course, are going to be in favor of GamerLegion, but Phones has now lost a big, fat old wave up in the top side of the map. Sendu gets a free recall as well and should be able to waddle his way back into lane while maintaining his teleport. So while, yes, in the isolated 2 versus 2, there's no flashes on kaSing or Deadly, that means maybe there's potential for Rabble to make his way down here. Maybe you can do something even against the Black Shield of Morgana. Well, if there's a deep red ward in the lane, which we already see there is, Sendu has to have his eyes ready to make a teleport play soon.
Absolutely does, Ender, and I think it's good that you call it out as we see Taxer just continuing to farm the jungle. Gold relatively even. I like how aggressive Visdom is playing in this game, I really do. I think the problem is that when you have Ashe, Azir, Trundle, no one has enough burst in these short windows to really maximize the value of aggressive flash hooking. And so I hope that like once one item comes through, that Visdom can make these same plays again when they actually can burst someone out. But for now, the fights just take so damn long that the immediate value of a flash Thresh hook just has not been there.
Yeah, they just don't really have the damage to follow it up for the time being, which of course will change, you know, once you give Azir and Ashe more time, more opportunities to get their items. As far as keeping track of some of those items, looking at the Ashe build is one that can be interesting. This is going to be the Blade of the Ruined King Ashe coming on through here, so more attention given to winning out in this 2 versus 2. At the same time, Deadly has already revealed it won't be the lethality style of build with this Varus. He did go for the lethal tempo, which indicates on hit, but he didn't get that Vampiric Scepter on the first base. So things should be very good for GamerLegion down on this bottom side of the map, not just because of the early flashes that were blown, but also the itemization mismatch between the two ADs.
Especially in a lane that is so often about poke, obviously between Varus and the Ashe. But now we see BTXL moving in, trying to clear out a bit of vision here, drawing some battle lines as both sides just move into each other, sort of threatening here on the skirmish, but no one's going to kick things off. Just a dragon leashed and started in case GamerLegion does want to stick around.
It's time for a snooze fest. Nobody's doing anything. I thought we were going to get Sendo to teleport into the bot lane. You know, he's got the mismatch, but there's no ward yet for them to do anything. Even GamerLegion, they've put down a control here. This is actually an opportunity now. With Taxa showing up, it's not going to happen. But I was going to say Rabble could come down.
With the binding, throw the lantern out. Good hook from Visdom. Good response, of course, from kaSing. Hit that binding, maybe, just maybe you can get a kill, or at least a summoner spell, but nothing else going to happen, as mentioned. Ender. Level 6 is not there yet, but Taxer does have to be careful.
What?
Hook does connect. Oh, the pillar's going to stop him from dashing over the wall. Rabble now trying to finish this kill off, but they still get first blood. They do not respect the man advantage. Suddenly Special's on the way in too. Hi, Rabble. Thanks for the free kill, I guess. The only good news, Special was denied any kind of assist. What the hell was that?
What are GamerLegion doing? Like, they're just walking straight in to BTXL right there. Not like, I guess you can see right there it's a 3v3, but like even then I think they lose it. But on top of that, Special was already walking down through the river, so even if they were winning the fight, the Akali was going to get a triple kill right there off the back of it. BTXL just hand-wrapped and gifted 2 quick kills there and an Infernal Drake. You see it one more time, they say, oh yeah, Taxer, no flash, but where's the damage? Hjarnan is zoned away. He can't actually get over here. Visdom gets one shot, then Rabble again. There's no damage from Hjarnan coming onto the Graves, which isn't his fault. He just can't get into the position because he's in a 1v2 down there.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I feel like Rabble is still playing with his last draft that he had against this team, where there was more damage, where there were more opportunities to kind of set these sort of plays up, because he just keeps running in, not respecting that they, like, Thresh Trundle don't kill people quickly. Ashe is not a bursty champion. Yes, she's a nightmare to play against because of volley and lane, and yeah, over time she'll whittle you down. But when an Ashe comes in and you've got 80% life, you're not like, oh boy, time to flash or I'm screwed. Like, Graves literally dashed forward towards the Ashe. He's like, okay, this champion won't do any damage. I'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like, it's no problem right there. Poor Visdom, his Aftershock had worn off by the time that Graves had broken free of the CC, so it didn't do anything either.
Oh, dark times. And for Excel, I mean, happy to have it. And we got to praise them for, one, getting mid-priority, then using mid-priority. Of course, punishing the mistakes of GamerLegion. And now we'll see what they do next is, once I like the strategy, they so frequently leave Deadly kind of on his lonesome and just free kaSing up to roam across the map. Of course, Morgana not always the #1 roaming champ that you think of, but when paired with the Graves, it's pretty lethal.
Oh, hello. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's doing something.
Now he just dashes back through, though.
Wait a second. What? What is going on here?
I'm going to say this one more time for the people in the back. Don't fight before one item when none of the champs on your team do damage.
Please, GamerLegion, don't make it obvious. Like, what's going on here?
Like, Ender, one of the talking points I wanted to talk about was like the history between Hjarnan and kaSing, and like imagine being stuck in this position where you have to eliminate a former teammate. But watch this. They're like ulti. He's like, all right, she's invisible, but she's there. I'll swoop in with all of my cooldowns and my fiendish codex and save the day. And it's like, bro, that's still Akali. She's used no cooldowns except for W. See ya?
Yeah, and then like the late entrance, like GamerLegion, obviously like, they're calling for the play and they feel like everyone is right there, but Rabble and Phones are so slow to enter in towards that fight, so they got a little bit too anxious to pull the trigger right there and end up losing a little bit more off of the back of that as well. The first time it was 2 kills and a Drake, that time it's a single kill and the Rift Herald, which is just going to mean far more gold here for Tax to go pick up.
probably going to amount to about a 2k gold lead when the Rift Herald is finally used, if it can be used well. Now, if you're on the side of GamerLegion, the game is not over. Your comp scales incredibly well. You just need to chill out. You need to stop. Be defensive.
They're harshing my vibe right now,
bro. Like, they're the guy who's like in like the lo-fi YouTube recommending people like metal. They're like, this is the music I study and relax to. It's like, no, man, different channel. Like, this is not for you right now. Yeah. They need to be that lo-fi girl sitting there and just like studying away at the book, doing nothing.
Yeah, with the headphones on.
With the headphones on. Yes, thank you. Shout out to Chilled Cow, jamming music. Like, you can't be making these plays, man. And
yeah, it's a bit too much, I think, is what we're saying for the time being. And at the end of the day, it's a 1k gold lead. It's not like BTXL have like won this game by any means already. But once again, Hjarnan trying to use that Ashe ultimate off of cooldown to make something happen. Now, what we're trying to say here with the terms of like scaling of both of these comps is that I love what GamerLegion have going for themselves. Tons of peel in towards the backline. And it's not to say that BTXL don't have good scaling options, but they have one frontliner, and Akali, who wants to dive into the backline, is going to have a really tough time against all the CC, reliable CC at that GamerLegion have to self-peel their way back there. So I think this game is going to become increasingly difficult for her to play out.
Completely agree. Very hard with the sheer amount of CC, the sheer amount of disruption, especially the amount of just kind of immediate AoE CC to disrupt her even when she is in that shroud. But for now, this is kind of the Akali heyday. Snowball coming out pretty early, special only 10 CS down in lane and getting closer and closer to that Gunblade. Meanwhile, Nite, I'm not going to say put very far behind by the aggressive play earlier, but definitely misses out on a wave on the back of that last one. And seeing Akali with a gold advantage this early on in the laning phase before she has one item is not something that you usually expect in the early game.
Yeah, because now what we're looking for Special to do is actually move and try to create some pressure, especially once he finishes off that Gunblade. Then you have kill threat on the majority of targets over on the side of GamerLegion. Taxer now has finished off his Warrior Enchantment as well, so it's a very big point of power for him.
You can see the use of the Black Shield there, just denies any potential follow-up. Obviously, the Pillar is a super positive spell to have up against the likes of Black Shield because it does set you up for the follow-up magic damage to break the shield, to hit the follow-up CC, but not enough to really make anything happen. And Taxer's sit pretty. Does not have quite the CS advantage I normally expect from a Graves. Of course, he is playing against a Trundle, but has Warrior Enchant, has an empowered recall until he does want to throw down that Herald.
The Herald should be coming soon. I actually would expect him to run bot lane and try and use it there. He can sort of try to cut off Hjarnan and Visdom at the pass. They don't commit to it, though, without full knowledge. And Taxer just gone straight in.
Ooh, the casual dash forward.
Oh my
Excellent
God.
Black Shield from kaSing. And now Hjarnan just has to walk away. And there's no one else here. They can get a full turret off this one if they set it up correctly. Ooh, bit early on the usage.
Yeah.
So definitely want at least a half a plate, if not more here. Should still be the tower. But if we're getting nitpicky, it was not perfect.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit slower there, but at the end of the day, will end up not meaning too much for them. They get the tower in the long run, and the reason why Taxer went so ham right there, because it looks crazy from him, but Rabble was just seen trying to clear minions inside of that mid lane. Taxer knew he had a Black Shield as well, so they're going to trade his top side jungle for the Rift Herald play down bot side, and now they're actually trying to collapse in towards this red buff. Taxer could have had a Drake, but instead is going to go for the 2v2.
Could become a 2v3 very quickly, though, as Maokai is on the way in. Taxer stepping forward, a good source of damage. Sendo not going to commit anything else there. Overall, not too bad, but Ender, 3k gold lead just about for BTXL. Excellent use of the Herald, and after the 0-3 start last week, I didn't think that they were going to be able to turn it around. And while GamerLegion, yes, they have made a few mistakes, this is a much cleaner, much more controlled version of Excel that we're seeing today.
Yeah, they have not been too off the wall in this one, just sort of accepting some of the mistakes GamerLegion have been making and punishing them for it. Now they're committing 5 members over towards the Drake. I feel like if Taxer had gone for this a little bit sooner, like they wouldn't have actually needed to sack a wave up in the top side, and now actually Sendo is going to be running up there to pick it up too, so may need to use the teleport, but I would be surprised, I think, if GamerLegion wanted to full commit off this play, unless they get a pick.
And here you see the problem, that there's not really any follow-up there into Special at this point in the game, especially when he has a Gunblade. Hjarnan still just farming up, still trying to desperately get that first item. Really needs Blade of the Rune King. It won't boost his DPS out of this world, but it will be a solid buff. It will make him a little bit safer as well and potentially provide enough kill threat that Special has to be afraid of these hooks from Visdom.
Are we really trying to pick off an Akali down here bot lane? Special's got a lot of vision. He's got a team behind him too. I would be surprised if I ever saw Special die down here. And now with 3 members actually committed down bot side, it could be an opportunity for BTXL to get some damage down on that middle lane tower, but not going to be the process in the long run. Maybe just run up top side too. You have a wave crashing there as well. Rift Herald is going to be spawning in just a moment too. So BTXL have pretty much full control over this top side river, and that gives them so many options.
And they're getting this right off as plates, or right after plates fall. So going to get the Demolish proc, get the tower as well, right as Herald is now coming up. So with kaSing resetting 2 for Vision, I gotta say, this is really solid. Yes, it is textbook from the side of XL, but it's really clean play. And now for GamerLegion, the response, moving into the mid lane, starting to move towards the bottom side of the map here, but there's not a lot for them to take at this moment. Instead, focusing on clearing out the Scuttle Crab, getting a bit more vision, and potentially conceding this next Herald.
Look, it might be Resident Sleeper from BTXL, but it's not bad by any means. This is exactly what they need to be doing now. You just want to walk inside the enemy jungle, take away all those minions, make sure Rabble can't farm for his life, because now he's level 9. He's under-leveled. Oh, wait, actually, Taxer's level 8. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
honestly, I don't know what's happening on that
yeah.
side.
When Guns N' Roses, welcome to the jungle, they were writing about this game, because like, no one has any damn idea what's happening here and why these guys are so low level. But Sendo now getting in trouble. Casual flash into the root, but the rest of the team is here. Haha, baited and outsmarted, except Sendo will actually bait and outsmart them. Well played, Sendo. I cannot believe he made it out alive there. XL burning a lot of resources.
Ornn. You think an Ornn can die? This is Cole Ornn as well, right? Like, this guy's like gone full savant tier up in the top lane, right? He got the call. He's building all the right items. No Iceborne Gauntlet. Like, get that out of my games. Like, he's enjoying a nice glass of wine up there. Like, this man's doing great.
He's having a good time. All on his lonesome.
Oh, Hjarnan's
okay,
not.
that's the ult. Yep, Hjarnan's gonna try.
I salute you, Hjarnan.
That one. Sorry, buddy. Your AD carry wasn't made in the last year and a half. You don't have counterplay.
Poor Hjarnan was also trying to freeze, but it didn't work.
No. I gotta be on Ender. I was ready for a slower game, because last time we saw these two teams play, it was Control Mage versus Control Mage, tanks on the top lane. I was fully ready for it, but shout out to XL, take control, speeding the game up a little bit. That said, until inhibitors start to break, I will not believe that XL have won this game, because this comp is not the best at sieging, and also I've yet to see XL really keep it together in the mid to late game, you know, in terms of decision making.
Yeah.
I feel like they get a bit over eager. Last time they over-forced on a sneaky Baron and ended up conceding the entire game on it. So we need to see them kind of continue to push this advantage, not get over aggressive, but also don't just give GamerLegion free room to scale.
Yeah, because if any of you remember or didn't actually catch that game, it was this same matchup where BTXL were pretty solid. You know, they had a slight lead, I think, at the 20-minute mark, and then tried to sneak a 20-minute Baron with this comp that outscales, and they got punished super heavily for it. Oh. And now Hjarnan, seen this one before.
What's our song of the week? Is it Infinity? Because this is just going to keep happening.
It's just like a loop.
Yeah. Wow. Shout out to the song of the week. Just predicting that we're going to listen to this same part over and over again, or watch this Akali just kill Hjarnan a million times. And there's nothing you can do. No one can save him. I mean, Visdom has to either concede mid-priority by leaving Nite and Rabble on their own, or leave kaSing to die. And leave Hjarnan to die.
And hear me out.
Okay.
Wards.
Oh. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. They don't cost any money.
It's true. Wards are free. Best change Riot has ever made, you know? Your teammates never wanted to buy them until they were free, and then everyone wants free stuff, right? Like, I could offer you, I don't know, what's something you don't like? I'll offer it to you for free, and, you know?
I mean, like, I'm not excited about salad, like, ever.
Free salad!
Yes, I'm a man, baby.
Free salad at my place.
I'll take a free salad. I'm not walking to your house for it. You've made it unappealing now.
Harold. Have you heard of Twitch Prime streams?
Twitch
They're
Prime
free!
It's free. Get him. Throw him down. Oh, God.
We can't sub on this channel, so I was trying to, like, make Riot happy with me, get some subs, but it's just not working. Here we go, we got a fight.
Ulti kicking off. Maokai's going to die before the fight really even starts. Ooh, suddenly Akali's in the midst of 3 low-health members. I wonder what's going to happen. There's one. Oh, maybe now 2. Azir's coming on the way in, but it might be too little too late. Special. Quick swippity swoop.
Oh, Hjarnan!
Now Hjarnan on the way in. That magic down shield, the shutdown. It's clutch, but kaSing in the midst of 3. 1, 2, 3. Snap. Maokai's going to die. The flash away from Deadly. Nite actually doing a solid job to turn this into a decent fight. The flash away, the swoop over, blocking the rest of the team from now getting in, except Nite's going to look real dumb after that Ornn jumps into the wall, takes him down. Techs are going to grab the kill, and now Ocean going to be the next objective.
Wow, Nite and Hjarnan absolutely tried to pop off in those fights. I don't know if it was worth it, but for Hjarnan, that was personal, and he did help out in taking down Special right there. We'll see them play one more time because it's a really good initial setup here, but unfortunately, GamerLegion's, like, they're so low. They're all caught in that tight corridor. As you were saying, like, the Akali is just going to tear you apart. And then Hjarnan's like, oh, I got to get the shutdown money. He flashes in. He does assist in picking up that kill, so Nite does find himself the shutdown. But then even coming out of this play, Deadly flashes out. And importantly, Sendo, he's unstoppable. That ultimate, not able to keep him at arm's length. If Sendo does get pushed away, I feel like that's a winnable fight, or at least a situation where that Azir can try to run, but unfortunately it just means that that gold lead has now ballooned out of control, and we're looking at an Ocean Soul in 4 minutes. BTXL, like, if they lose this game, it would be a colossal throw.
It would have to be. So for now, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt as they can start to set up around Baron. It's 21 minutes, but it is a 2-item Varus and a Graves. It's going to be pretty damn good at taking down that Baron should they decide to start it off. However, it's just a slow, steady Baron take. Looks like they're going for the by-the-book play here. Push out mid lane, lay down a bit of vision. Special using, I think, the Shroud a little bit early, kind of maybe anticipating a long-range Ashe arrow.
So I will say that one thing that BTXL's composition struggles a little bit with is actually like stepping into the enemy jungle and like clearing like quadrants of the jungle, basically like denying vision, getting vision themselves, primarily because they don't have a tank jungler or a tank support. And usually what that means is like those champions want to pair up together and like walk on in here. So you actually saw Taxer and Special a little bit earlier both trying to like walk on in, but it's a little bit risky. They don't want to, you know, go too hard with that. So any sort of aggressive plays from Excel's side, I feel like need to be sort of spearheaded by Sendo coming around as well, because again, BTXL can't actually step forward against the Thresh, even with Black Shield. It's going to be hard.
Very true. I think a difficult position to be. The good news is they have a lot of the vision set up, which makes it nice. And they're also fortunate enough that if they can find a pick on their own, this gold lead is going to start to matter more and more. Ornn and Morgana, excellent forms of non-committal CC. Deadly's ult, also a great form if he can make it connect.
Oh, no. Sendo's on the flank here with the Ornn. He's looking for a big ulti.
Cool. Coming out. Who are they actually going to focus here? Sending it straight towards Maokai, just wanting to zone the tank, knowing that once that front line is gone, the team fight gets way easier. Taxer getting the Black Shield and then dashing forward. That's going to be the hook onto Akali. That's going to be a big deal, but they cannot follow up on the Special. Special now backing away. Honestly, very solid retreat from the side of GamerLegion, not using anything more than they had to get out of that situation. And now the arrow
Deadly.
Ooh, little late on the Black Shield. You can't hit them all. kaSing, Thresh not going to be able to follow up, though. Not going to want to keep going. Maokai on the front line. No ultimate for him. They're pulling back once again. GamerLegion poking, prodding at the defenses, not looking to overcommit in any instance.
Wow, both teams dropping ultimates right there, but not willing to commit fully in towards the fight. Good news for GamerLegion, though, is they're the ones with control over this mid lane. Grouping on up. Here's a couple members from Excel go reset. So this is their opportunity. I don't want to see them go get vision in the top side river. I don't think Baron's the immediate threat for them. I think the setup should be around this bottom lane, that bottom side of the map, because that's where Ocean Soul is going to be spawning in 2 minutes.
Special dashing through, trying to snipe the jungler up before the fight to come. A bit questionable now, as Trundle is tanky enough to avoid a lot of this damage, especially with a Thresh there to back him up, but Special respect the effort. A nice try, and I'm getting more and more concerned, Ender, because I see that goalie for BTXL, and I don't want to downplay BTXL as a team. They were incredible in the UKLC all the way right up until finals, but they haven't been good in the group stage so far, and GamerLegion, they've figured it out. They're not throwing their lives away heedlessly anymore. They've learned to respect the Akali. They've learned to respect the composition coming out here from BTXL, and they're playing with a lot more caution. And the later we go, ooh, I'm gonna hold that thought, because maybe Special finds his moment now. The dash in. He does not have an ultimate.
Well, that was a bit anticlimactic there, I would say. Hjarnan didn't have mana, so he couldn't ult. Special, no ulti, so again, couldn't ultimate is what that means. So now, we're all the way back to the drawing board. It's going to be another Drake attempt, and this is why I'm still not concerned with BTXL, is because they have so many options in order to win this game, right? Like, Ocean Drake is going to be spawning. Even if they lose this one, they're going to have an opportunity to get the next, and the next, and the next. But now Nite with no mana, He can't TP out.
See ya.
No.
Well,
wouldn't want to be
you know, caster curse, Ender. I said,
Yeah.
that, you know, GamerLegion had gotten everything together. They'd stopped fumbling, they'd stopped getting caught out, but all it takes is for one member to stay a little bit too long on a side lane. In this case, it was Nite. And they just didn't have the
they're
vision.
just taking Baron right now. GamerLegion are taking Baron 2-man right now with Hjarnan and Visdom.
We've swapped roles, Ender.
What are we doing? Okay.
If BTXL steal this away, this will be an exact inverse repeat of what happened the previous time. But they're starting off, they're going to continue to do it. They bought themselves a bit of space. Ashe is going to shred through this very quickly.
I think Special 1v9s this. I'm pretty sure he can just jump in there with kaSing and kill
with
them all.
Black Shield. If they just get in position, 6K getting lower. They're trying to bait kaSing and using Black Shield on him if he should. Good call, good patience. Ocean Soul now gained. BTXL walking into a very favorable fight as the Baron now resets. Special on the hunt here. Akali ult is up and available, as well as the flash can flash forward and dash through. But Hjarnan throwing down a lot of damage on the backside. Not to Ornn. Sadly, getting through Ocean Soul feels nigh impossible right now for Hjarnan by himself.
Yeah. You also have the Ornn items coming through, so Deadly got the upgraded, I think, Might of the Ruined King right there, sitting at 2.5 items. Now BTXL able to start this one up while Special is on the flank. So look at the way Hjarnan's entering this fight. He is going to be over here on the side exactly where Special is too.
Ooh, big arrow now going in. Phones. Trying to zone away. Special buying a bit more space for the rest of the team. Hjarnan going to get lanterned out. Ooh, solid hook now coming in from Visdom, but there's no follow-up damage there. It just means that Phones is going to get sacrificed. Deadly now on a killing spree. Azir is mid lane. Trying to get something back, but really an incredibly difficult game now for GamerLegion. They're at least trying to keep the pace up. Are they willing to try to trade inhibitor here for the Baron? I feel like Rabble should try to go for the steal.
Yeah, Rabble will 100% go for the steal. He has Flash and Smite available. Just has to not get zoned away from this pit, and Visdom's here to help him out.
Oh my god. 4K getting lower. Excel, you cannot let this happen again. Excel,
Nite is
if
still
this
mid lane, by the way.
Taxer came over the wall. They're holding it. They're holding the health bar. Ornn now coming in. Rabble just taking his time. 2K getting lower. They can burn it down now. Rabble's far enough zoned away. He's dashing forward. He's running in. They don't have a smite in the pit.
No. Oh,
Rabble
no.
Oh, they take him out. Excel. Oh, breathe a deep sigh of relief. The Baron goes down. Graves gets to secure it. Good on you, Sixer. Redemption for the last time you did it, but that was still uncomfortably close.
Wait, Nite left mid lane. He just took the tower. He didn't take the inhibitor itself, so they can't even have like that type of pressure to try and stall out the Baron attempt. He came over anticipating some sort of a fight. I feel like in that situation, you never want to take the fight. You're going to lose the fight 100%. That's the opportunity to get yourself an inhibitor. Now, Deadly still sticking around in this top lane. We'll find yet another tower for BTXL, so they're going to be all primed and ready to jump on in here and go for the base siege.
Well, exciting times, most certainly.
Yeah.
I'm a bit stunned by this game, Ender. I'm still reeling from the early game mistakes, from the mid game mistakes. GamerLegion looked like they were neck and neck with Gamers Origin in terms of performance thus far. And this game is not showing us that. And every team's performance is going to change from week 1 and week 2, but usually for the better. And I'm concerned for GamerLegion in the games to come because this is definitely going to take a miracle if they want to win out on this one.
Oh, Sendo gets a big knock-up right there. Hjarnan will have to flash away. And here comes that siege. Without Hjarnan there, so much more difficult to hold the waves. Nite is top lane, and no one's really here to clear the waves in mid, but without having the Varus around, you don't have that great range threat to hit away at the tower, but still with double cannon minions, this tower is going down.
Ooh. Deadly stepping forward. Arrows coming in. This is a slow siege, but a controlled one. Never mind. Deadly is not afraid whatsoever. Once again, Black Shield just ate 3 major cooldowns. No problem. No big deal. Deadly is going to continue to throw down and does not drop in the end. And now there's Special with all his cooldowns just zooming into the base. And GamerLegion just going to have to give this one up. You can try to save the day. You can try to defend your base, but it will most certainly mean death because Special is ready to go in at a moment's notice. The only thing he has to respect is the potential to get Azir pushed back into the enemy base. There you go.
Here he
Dashing
goes.
in. Nite in trouble. Going to get pushed away, but that's going to be one more tower taken down. Azir tower will not protect the Nexus. It is wide open as XL are taking their time, but that Ocean Soul healing is ludicrous. Any poke that they're throwing down is getting heavily mitigated at this stage of the game. Waiting for that last tower. Unstoppable now for Sendo. He will go gold, and they are going to focus on the Nexus. Special just sort of having his way with this one. Going to dash over the wall, going to finish it out, and woo, Excel. Took a long time to find that first win, but damn good win that it was.
Yeah, that was a weird game right there, Dracos. You know, it felt like early game, like GamerLegion didn't really have to do all that much, but after taking a couple of bad fights, XL were just sort of put in the driver's seat, and then they played it very calm, very collected from that point forward, never really giving any windows for GamerLegion to get back in, even around those objectives when we had the Ocean Soul and the Baron up at the same time. They played it cool, picked up both, and the win in the end.
All credit to BTXL. Congrats to UK Scene finding a win, bringing hope back outside of just Fnatic. But of course, BTXL, they put their first win on the board. When we come back, I'm going to get a chance to sit down with GamerLegion's coach, Delivery Panda, to talk about what happened and what we can expect in the games coming forward. All that and more right after the break.
Magic.
Vous comprenez maintenant pourquoi j'ai créé la Magic? En un clip, vous devenez Magic.
La monture avec ces 2 clips pour 149 €.
C'est Magic.
Dispositif médical.
This is my creed. The boots that make me faster. The items that make me stronger. The potions that I drink. I get the best to be more powerful, so my champion rises to the top. But all this leveling up means nothing if I don't level up myself. It's the healthy potions I drink in real life that make me stronger. Because you can only rule the game when you realize you are your most important champion. To play like a pro, eat like a pro.
Time for a true display of skill.
My axe is ready. Witness true strength.
A gift from me to you. Ooh, ooh.
Another soul lost.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
I'm feeling like it's pulling me under. You tell me take my hand and trust me if you can. I know I'll be okay if I hold you, and I'm not letting go. You've woken up this feeling inside me. It's opened up my eyes.
Hello, welcome back to EU Masters. I'm Dracos, joined by the coach of GamerLegion, none other than Delivery Panda. And I have a lot of questions, but before we start, I just want to say Delivery Panda is hands down the greatest League of Legends name I've heard in the last probably 5 years. So good on you. Second question, though, is less fun, and I kind of want to know from your perspective what went wrong for your team in that game, because I think we expected you to be the heavy favorites, and it didn't quite play out that way.
So first, thank you for the praise for the name. I thought long about it. It was really hard to find a friendly name. Then, what happened today was usually we play warm-ups before our matches, and then we need one game to get the int out of our system. And today we didn't play warm-ups because we would potentially play 4 games today maybe to get a first seed in our group. So we decided we won't play warm-ups today because it would be way too much games to stay focused. And that way, I guess we gambled wrong, and this was the game to get the int out of our system.
I like that you're so casual about it, that you're not worried about it, that it is just getting the int out of the system. I'll say from our perspective, some of those moments did look that way. So you're not worried, you're not shaken at all by this loss to BTXL. You're confident that you and your team can come back in the games to come.
I mean, I don't know if you saw what happened to us in Prime League, but we started the league off with 1-6, and at some point we asked ourselves, is this really happening? Because we were losing so much, and then everyone said we trust each other, so I would say I don't have to worry at all.
And of course,
when you talk about trust them.
Yeah, and I think good to hear that you have that faith. When you talk about Prime League, it seems like Prime League is one of the strongest, if not the strongest regional leagues overall. You guys coming into plans, obviously Mouse and Schalke No Fear Evolution as well. Do you think that the Prime League is the strongest of the ERLs at this point in time?
It's difficult to say because I don't have too much sample size about other regions, but I feel like Prime League has the highest amount of strong teams. I don't know if Prime League has the highest highs, but Prime League definitely has the highest amount of decent teams in general.
Now, when we look ahead towards your final games coming up throughout the rest of the day, obviously the potential to play tiebreakers as well later in the week. One thing that I'm dying to know, and I'm sure people who are a fan of your team and specifically your bot lane are dying to know as well, is how many more wild drafts, wild picks can we expect to see from Hjarnan? We saw obviously the Heimerdinger top when you guys went up against Gamers Origin last time around. How much of the Hjarnan specials will we get to see today?
I think currently are 146 champions available in this tournament. So basically we could potentially pick everything right there. From A to Z. It's all possible, basically. But we have some favorites.
I like that you've left it open so that no one can 100% know what they need to ban. You've given me nothing. You've given me so much to be excited for, and you've given absolutely nothing away. Thanks again, Delivery Panda, for taking the time to talk to me. Good luck to you and the boys and your games coming up later in the day. YD and Gamers Origin are getting prepared to play their first games of the day. We're going to be in Champion Select after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you as well.